So in the world of guitar, there are kind of two prevailing methods for learning and applying scales. And those would be the cage system or the five-position method. Five-position method is personally the one that I use in my playing. And the other option would be 3-note per string scales. And there's lots of talk online. Oh my God, if you want to go on Guitar Reddit and see what people have to say, there are a lot of opinions out there on which is superior, which is better, and why everyone else is wrong. Now, a little bit of background on this. I learned when I was in university and before then, I learned the five-position method, which caged and the five-position method are basically the same thing. However, when you use the five-position method, you don't refer to the open chord shapes, which is it's where caged gets its name and it's what it relies on. So I personally am not the biggest believer in the cage system, but again, I do technically kind of use it in everything that I do because I use the five-position method. But the core difference would be in the five-position method, you will have mixes in your scale shapes of areas where there's 2 notes on a string and 3 notes on a string. This can also sometimes be referred to as position playing. And again, that's the system that I learned. But to put this to the test and see what I was missing, I have spent the last 30 days every day practicing 3-note per string scales. So rather than playing G major like this, I would play it like this. And in this video, I'm just going to kind of share the things that I've noticed and the things that I've learned through going through this method. Throughout the video, there will be some diagrams popping up here. If you want access to those diagrams, you can subscribe to my Patreon. All of my patrons get early access to videos, as well as all of the documents that kind of show up here in my videos. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about what I learned going through the 3-note per string system. So I applied a very similar framework to how the five positions work, caged, the five-position method. And what I did is I found 5 positions basically of 3-note per string. And the first thing that I noticed kind of debunks a lot of the claims of it. A lot of my students who get into the 3-note per string method or hear about it say, well, but there's more notes on each string, so clearly I can get more notes out of it. When really you actually only get 2 extra notes per position on average. So for example, if I played G major in first position here, I only get 2 more notes. My highest note is A. If I do 3-note per string, my highest note is A. So that's 2 extra notes added on, but really it's not that much different than if I went and dragged my hand up kind of thing. Again, is it a little bit more ergonomic and flowy if I do the 3-note per string? Yes, but that was kind of the first thing that I noticed, was it really actually didn't make a huge world of difference when I changed methods, basically. And so going through all of these positions, my kind of practice routine was first I went through all 7 modes, just playing them in linear order. Little flub there, but going through them that way. Then I did things like doing them in thirds. So in terms of the pros of doing this, the things that I noticed, again, you don't really get that many more notes per position, so it's not a huge world of difference there. One thing that I did find was I felt like when I was doing this, I would do this as the first thing I kind of did when I picked up the guitar today. And doing this kind of these bigger stretches that is required of the 3-note per string system, I felt like it maybe got my hand a little bit more warmed up a little bit quicker because I'm doing bigger stretches to kind of pull off everything that I'm working on. So that was definitely a pro. And then the other big kind of gain that I saw was some legato stuff just flows. Flows a little bit better when you're doing the 3-note per string because everything has this kind of symmetrical shape. But in terms of actually going through everything and again actively working on trying to get this into my playing, I didn't find that it changed anything too much for me. So really, whether you're learning the 3-note per string system or the 5-position method or the caged system, I don't necessarily think there's a huge world of differences or advantages or disadvantages to either of these systems. They're both great. The one thing that I would say is if you are fully entrenched in one or the other, I would actually recommend seeing, if the grass is greener on the other side. Because the thing that I really took away from doing this is that I don't think I necessarily gained any extra speed or any extra kind of stuff. But what I did gain was a little bit of a fresh perspective on how the guitar and the fretboard works, because this instrument is always going to be a confusing maze, whether you're new to it or whether you're old to it. Again, I've been playing the guitar for more than half my life, almost 20 years, and I still find new things about how things are connected on this godforsaken instrument virtually every day. So going through this system again and having it kind of complement what I've already known and been working on, I have found to be a big kind of plus just for seeing different connections and being able to think about things in different ways. So I don't really think that this system is better or worse, or either system is better or worse. I think that knowing both just gives you more kind of channels. Like one thing that I did find, I guess, that would be my last plus for this system, is that when I was playing, and again, I predominantly play in a jazz kind of setting, but say I was traversing from position to position, I would see or take kind of different avenues that I know I definitely wasn't before. It was almost like I was watching my hands go somewhere. But again, I don't think that is necessarily intrinsic to the 3-note per string thing. I think that gain came because I was working on something that I wasn't totally familiar with before. And I was kind of putting the two kind of lenses together. So all that to say, I'm going to keep practicing the 3-note per strings, and I'm also going to keep working on just the normal 5-position method. I don't necessarily think one is better than the other. I think the more ways that you can think about and see things on the guitar, the better off you will be, of course. So that's basically it. That's what I learned from practicing the 3-note per string method for 30 days. I'm curious to hear which system you prefer down in the comments, and if you completely disagree with everything that I just said, because of course your way is superior, I'd be really interested to hear. But this is something that I see my students bring up a lot, and it's something that I finally decided to fully commit myself and dive into. And again, there are some cool gains to be had, but I don't necessarily think it's a better or a worse situation. I think it's just something that the more ways you can think about and deal with information on the guitar, the better off you will be. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It truly helps me out more than you could know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you're looking for a way to support me and what I get up to here, you can subscribe to my Patreon, also linked down below. All of my patrons get early access to videos as well as the documents from the lessons themselves here. It's a great little community of guitar lovers, and I'd love to see you over there. If you're looking for a different way to support me and what I'm up to, I do have ebooks, video courses, and merch available for sale down in the description as well. All of the courses and books are a great way to get some more in-depth educational content from me than I can go into in a 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I have new videos coming out every single week, so I'll hope to see you in the next one. And until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.